Today we're going to be talking about investments for beginners from a beginner. One thing I want to start off with is that I am not a professional. Obviously, I am a beginner. Everything that I have learned and figured out is just by doing my own research. So if you are looking to invest somewhere, you're more than happy to kind of see what we're doing, but I would highly suggest that you don't follow my advice as if I'm a professional, because I am not. And it's really not even advice. It's just kind of telling you what we're doing. So just your fair warning, don't do what I'm doing just because I'm saying it, but I have done some research. So let's get into it. If you have not seen my previous videos, then you might not know that we got a large sum of money because of the sale of our second home. I know that the term second home sounds insane to some people, but really what it came down to was we were living in that house, and then in 2020 we had to move in to another home in a different county. Because of the job that I got, they required that we lived in a certain county. So we had to move out of that house and get a new house. Our options at that point were that we could either get into a more expensive home, we would have had to be contingent on the sale, or we could get into a more moderate, affordable home, and that way we weren't rushed to try to sell that home, and we could afford both mortgages at the same time. We decided to do that because we just didn't want to feel too rushed to get that other house sold, because we were already being rushed to find a home. And then we decided that since that house was on the river, we were like, maybe we'll Airbnb it or do something with it. Long story short, it flooded 3 years in a row every summer while we were trying to figure out what to do with it. So my husband and I eventually were like, okay, we just need to call it what it is. We're not going to get it going for Airbnb or rental or anything like that, and we just need to sell it. So I think that it was a really big mistake on our end to keep that house for as long as we did, because basically we were just paying a mortgage to nothing. Not to nothing, but like we weren't living in the house, we weren't using it. There was really no point for us to keep it. But it took us a while. So finally we had to get everything cleaned up again. We had to redo the basement all over again. It took a long time, and then finally we sold it. Now, we just sold it about a month ago as of now. And from that sale, in total, we ended up getting about $60,000, a little over $60,000 in proceeds, profit, whatever you want to call from it. That means that we had $60,000 drop into our account little by little. Some of the money came in after, because when you sell a home, you cancel your homeowner's insurance. Then we got some money because our balance with our bank, like the balance that we had on the mortgage, wasn't as high as it was when they first pulled it. So we got some money back from there. Anyways, we've slowly had some money trickle in following the sale of it. Now we're done, and now we're just sitting with this cash, and I'm like, okay, we need to do something with it. The idea of taking that money and putting it towards the debts was a thought. It was definitely a thought of mine, at least trying to take half of the money and put it towards the debts. But my husband, because we both communicate properly about our finances and money and everything, my husband was like, I feel like it would be better if we invested it. Because of the debts being low in interest, it would be better off that we put it into the market, because the market is historically, on average, doing better percentage wise than it would save us by paying off the low interest debt. So we just did decide, though, that we would take $10,000 of it and put it towards the student loans, which we already did if you saw that video. And now the rest of it is being invested. We are choosing to do it a little bit slower investment-wise, just because the way that the market is going. The way the market always goes, you never know. You can never predict if it's going to be up. You can't predict if it's going to be down. And just if there's a slight uncertainty on your end, then you might be better off doing what we're doing right now, and that is dollar cost averaging. Basically, all that dollar cost averaging is that you are taking smaller amounts over a longer period of time to invest it instead of dumping it all in at once. So instead of us throwing $50,000 all in at one time, we are doing $5,000 over the course of so many months, as well as we're not putting all of it into the market. We are going to we're opening up a CD and putting some money in a CD as well to let that kind of sit, make some money, and then we'll take that out and then we'll invest that. So we're doing a much slower approach, but by the end of like 12 months, we will have it all invested. Basically, what we are choosing to do is hopefully keep that money invested just for our retirement. So because we're doing it that way, I want to make sure that we're using a Roth IRA. So basically, I chose to invest through Fidelity. The reason why I chose Fidelity is strictly because of the history that Fidelity has. It's been around for it's probably one of the longest that's been around. So I just know it's really trustworthy. And yeah, that's it. I downloaded the app. The app is pretty easy to use. So that's pretty much why I chose that, because I knew that it was trustworthy and the app is easy. Within the app, I am investing two ways. So I am investing one through a Roth IRA because we want it to be for retirement. The Roth IRA has better tax advantages. And then two, I am putting some others just through a standard, standard brokerage investments. Because of that, a Roth IRA has a max amount that you can invest per year. That limit is $7,000 every year that you can invest. So only $7,000 can be invested through the Roth IRA. Everything else has to be invested on your own. So we are doing $7,000 this year in 2025. Because we're extending into 2026, we will also invest $7,000. And then following that, every single year, we are just going to save $7,000 throughout the years and just invest it through that means. So even though we're investing most of it into the brokerage, we can still invest in our Roth IRA every year. If you are married, you can both have a Roth IRA separate, but for us right now, my husband is he doesn't know a lot about investing and he's just not really sure about things. So he doesn't have a Roth IRA right now. I just am investing it for us. So that is definitely something that you can do though, is you can both get a Roth IRA and double up on how much you are investing. So it could be $14,000. You can't have it together. They have to be separate, but that is something that you can do. So we are going to invest, we've already put some money in, $5,000 in for August, and then we'll put $5,000 in for September, and we'll keep doing that. Let's talk about where I'm investing it in. For right now, we are choosing to kind of stick with, because we're thinking in terms of retirement, I'm not in the game of day trading or anything. I am putting this money in here and I'm just leaving it. So we have money in VOO. So VOO is basically just an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Basically what that is the S&P 500 is the top 500 companies, and the VOO is an ETF that basically just easily allows you to invest in all 500 of those companies without actually having to individually invest in them. It just automatically diversifies everything for you. You're just investing into one place, and then it is investing into all of those companies. The reason why this is so great is because if one company isn't doing well, other companies that are doing well will help to make up for those. So it helps to kind of give you a little bit more of an ease of mind in investing in all 500 of them rather than picking individual companies to invest in, because then if they do bad, you don't have the others to kind of make up for it unless you are investing in all of them. And I don't have time to invest individually, nor do I have the knowledge to invest individually in them. So I just choose to invest in VOO, and that's just the easiest way. We also invest in QQQ, and QQQ is also an ETF that tracks the top 100 NASDAQ companies. These are mostly tech. We invest in that as well. We also then chose to invest in REITs, and REITs is like real estate. So REITs was my husband's pick, so I haven't done a lot of research on it, but basically it's like real estate shares. So right now we just have VOO, QQQ, and REIT. And then we will diversify further as we go on, but that just felt like a comfortable start for us. If you know more about investing, you can put your 2 cents in the comments and just kind of, if you have anything that I should kind of research. But like I said, just because I am saying these on the screen does not mean that you should be the one to invest in these. Do more research before doing so. So that is kind of how we are going to spread our investments. Majority will stay within VOO and QQQ, and then we'll just kind of pick off other things to invest in as we feel more comfortable. But the majority of it, we just want to have in those ETFs because it's just simple and it feels, I don't know, pretty standard. So like I said, I'm a beginner. So I am like just trying to get this going. But basically what happens is I log in to my app and then I go down to, so I log into my app and then I come down here to transfer and then, or transact is what it says in the center there. And then once I hit that, then it brings up this option down here. So I can trade or transfer. That's all that I've done so far. So you'll hit transfer and then you'll set up your bank account to just link your account to Fidelity. So then you can pick your bank account in the top and then it'll say what you're investing to, and you'll have to put it into just like your brokerage account that you set up when you start the app. And then you can select how much you want to put and you'll transfer it into the app. Even if you only have $20 a month to play with and invest, or if you have $100 a month to play with and invest, I am fully of the understanding and aware that most people do not have like this large lump sum that they need to invest. But that is just an easier way that you can like slowly get into it. And so it's not so like big and scary for you. But once you've got the money into your brokerage, or like I said, your Roth IRA is going to be your better option to start until you max that out, then you need to take that money and you need to invest it into the actual like investments that you're choosing. So once the money is in there, it's going to show that you've got money in your Fidelity account that's not invested yet. You have to move that into investments. So there's lots of online tutorials, or there are like professionals that you can talk to just to kind of figure out how that is. But I just want you to know, when you make that initial transfer from your bank to the app, it is not yet invested. You have to then invest it. So just keep that in mind. And you can only invest when the market is open, and that is Monday through Friday, is 9:30 to 5 that I can, 9:30 to 4 that I can invest, or something like that. So just keep in mind, you can't just like open your app on a Saturday and invest your money. But you can set it up to buy when it opens if you want to, but that's up to you. If you want to set up those kind of specific when to invest, and you can do like, you can tell it to sell if it hits an amount, or you can tell it to buy if it hits a certain amount, or anything like that if you want. I have not gotten into those yet because I am a beginner, and so I'm just trying to navigate this kind of as I can. If you are an ultimate like investment beginner, start with your 401k or your 457b or whatever investments you have through your employer first. I do not have a 401k, but I do have a 457b that goes along with the pension. So I have a pension, and then I can also choose to separately invest in my 457b. because usually employers do a match. So like my match is if I put in 1% of my salary into my 457B, then my employer puts in 5% of my salary. So automatically that means I'm invested at 6% as long as I do that, my 1%. I don't know what other employers are, like everyone's match is different, but I highly recommend, even if you are paying off debt, to at least get your match. Make sure that you are getting that employer match because that is free money that they are giving you. And you really don't have to usually put too much in to get back. So just make sure that you're doing that if you aren't. That is one thing that, like, I'm not a professional, but like you should listen to that and you should make sure you're getting your employer match through your job. Also, like my employer, I don't know if everyone else's is similar, but they have a financial advisor that comes in. I think it's like every 2 or 3 months, and you can meet with the financial advisor and you can just kind of talk with them and kind of figure out where you want to invest your money that you're doing through your employer. So the ultimate start is to invest through your employer. Use those free resources of your, like the financial advisors that they give you. Make sure you're getting your match. You can increase it. I think like the money guys recommend that you're investing at least up to like 15% of your income. And then beyond that is when you're going to want to invest on your own through a brokerage account like Fidelity. For us, however, because we got that lump sum of money, we're not investing 15% of our income, or I'm not, in my 457B, but like I'm not able to put the lump sum money that we got into my 457. So that's why we're just kind of investing this on our own, as well as the fact that my husband doesn't even have an employer like investment or like 401k or anything like that. So he has to do all of his retirement investing on his own. So that's kind of why we're using the brokerage account, because we have to do our own investing for my husband's retirement. He also uses Vanguard. He has money in Vanguard, and then he's got money with BlackRock as well. So he's got some other investments, and then we're using this one just to kind of be our joint investing. So yeah, I think the ultimate goal is that we want to obviously use that money for retirement. We do want to get a home, like another home. This one is kind of small for us. We are definitely like bursting at the seams here, but we're choosing to stay here while we're paying off our debts and trying to save up money for a down payment on another house. We want to make sure we have at least 20% to put down on another home. And so we're not even factoring that money that we are going to have for the 20%. Like this lump sum of money, we're just choosing to put it towards retirement. So hopefully that will work out for us in the long run. And that is why, because we're willing to let it sit for 30 years, that's why it's going to make us significantly more money than it would be to pay off the debts with it right now. Because let's say we use that $50,000 to just pay towards the debts, right? Because we still have $86,000 of debt. We would still have $36,000 left to go. And we're planning to have it paid off in 2 to 3 years. That $50,000 conservatively could grow to $380,000 in 30 years. So that was conservatively at 7%. If it was 10%, that $50,000 would grow to $872,000. So that's a huge amount of money. Like even the $300,000 amount is just enough for us to be like, okay, it's worth putting this money into the market and just letting it sit there, because looking into the future, and I can see how beneficial it's going to be at that point rather than how beneficial it would maybe be for us right now. So especially because it's low interest and it's manageable for us and our income, it just makes more sense to enjoy it later on in life. So that's why we're choosing to do that. I think that investing is really intimidating, for one. I mean, I think if you're intimidated by investing, certainly just use your employer. But if you want to kind of throw $20 in here and there in a Roth IRA, or $100 every month in a Roth IRA, or even if you want to max out a Roth IRA, or go further, you can. I think that just kind of starting with these apps is really easy. It's made it so much simpler for us, just in like the modern age, to be able to invest. And I don't think it's as scary as maybe what you think. And you do not have to be a day trader, because I will not be. I will be putting the money in there and I will be like, I'm not touching it. Like, I will put more into it. So the plan is that we will continue to invest into that every single month after we've already put the lump in, or like, that large amount. And then we will just continue to kind of add money to it for our retirement and hopefully watch it grow. So I will keep you guys updated on the investing progress and where we're at and how things are going. But I just wanted to say it's not as scary as you maybe think it is. Just download the app, at least just kind of, even if it's not Fidelity, download. You could even use Robinhood if you wanted to, or Vanguard, or Charles Schwab, or any of those. Download their app and just kind of see how you feel with it. Maybe put $20 into it and just play around with investing it somewhere. But keep in mind, get your match from your employer, then make sure that you're understanding everything through there. If you can put your 15% into your 401k, go ahead and do that. Then if you've got money left over, go ahead and put that into a Roth IRA and invest it through there. Then you can play with the brokerage. So we're just going straight for the brokerage because we have a lot of money and we need to put it into something, and because our high yield savings account is not doing it for us. Our high yield savings account was at 4.5% when we had, like, our one account had $15,000 in it, and we were at 4.5% for that. And then when we got this lump sum of money transferred into the account, it dropped to 1.8% for interest, which I know that's common for banks to do. Ours is a credit union. And so when we saw that, we were like, okay, yeah, this is not going to grow in our high yield savings account like we thought it was. And so we were like, we kind of need to quickly get this moving and get it transferred out of there and into an investment account. That is how we are choosing to invest our money and why we're choosing to invest our money. And that is just the plan for us moving forward, and why we want to keep it invested in for a long term, to really see those gains in 30 years and not be so quick to just pay everything off with it, because it wouldn't even pay everything off, but just not pay it all down onto our debts when we can see how much benefit it will give to us and provide us in 30 years, rather than like right now, we just need to bog down and really just focus on paying our debts off ourselves. Because too, that is also giving us so much discipline, and by paying them off ourselves, like, it's allowing us to kind of really focus on a budget and making sure that we can tighten things up and stay within our limits. And it's allowing us to kind of see the benefits and feel good about being able to do this and stick to it. And then, like, once we have that money in retirement, I have no doubt that we will not regret having left this money into there to grow for that long period of time. So that is where we're at. That's what I'm doing. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I really appreciate everyone who comments and subscribes, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm sitting down editing this video and I realized that there is a fly flying around in my house during this video. So if you see it, I'm really sorry. I promise it's only because I had all of the windows open because it is such a nice day, and I opened up my sliding glass door too. So a fly got into my house. So please excuse the fly. I promise I'm not dirty.